Hey, what's up everyone? Thanks for joining me for another video. Thanks for subscribing and all that good stuff, and let's get into this. You might not be able to see behind me, but right there is a BMW. This video is going to be a quick video on how to change brake pads on basically any car. So let's get into it. I'll show you a couple tips and ways to make it very easy on yourself. We're going to go over the car in a second, but this video, there's a couple different, well, I guess there's kind of like two different styles of like rear brakes. One is when your e-brake is part of the brake rotor. It's like a drum style brake, but that's where your e-brake is in there. And then the other style is your e-brake part of the caliper. That one's a little more annoying to deal with. There's some special tools for it. I mean, you could get away without using the special tools, but this is drum style. So I'll show you what we got. So as always, when you're working on your car, safety, jack up the car, jack stands. Be safe, don't be an idiot. I already changed this side, which is the passenger side. This is how my brake pads looked, and this is a fresh one. So yeah, I'd say it was time for a change. This particular car is a 2019 BMW 230 with the X-Drive. Just some of the sizes of the bolts may be a little bit different between this car and your car. If you have the same car, perfect, good for you. Very simple, it's pretty universal to do this on all different cars. And I'll show you what I'm talking about. The tools I used for this car, obviously before you jack the car up, you want to at least break your lug nuts loose. So I have a breaker bar, 17mm. That's what these, that's the size of these were. This is a ratchet. For this car, it worked out better having one of these heads that you could adjust for the ratchet. Just because I'll show you in a minute how tight the tight quarters are. Screwdriver. Gonna need this to pop off the brake sensor, the brake pad sensor. Per little needle nose vice grip, because there is a retainer clip right here that you need to grip pretty tight to pull off. Needle nose pliers, not bad to have, and this clamp, and I'll show you why we're using the clamp in a minute. Now also, I'm only doing pads here because there's no deep gouges in the rotors. If you take your wheel off and you have some deep gouges, probably time to change the rotors also, but only doing pads. First we're going to take this clamp off. Then going to go behind. There's these little caps on this. Not all cars have this, but take this cap off. There's a top one and a bottom one straight down from there, and this is where you need your 8mm Allen wrench, Allen key, whatever you want to call it. Once those two bolts are off, you should be able to pull the caliper off. There you go. So you never want to hang your caliper by the brake line, so find a spot to prop it up so you're not hanging. The passenger side has one, but not this side. There's a brake wear sensor. You just want to get a screwdriver and just get it underneath and pry it up. Wow. And a brand new one. Whew. So it's probably better practice to change your brake pads before you get to this. Don't be like me. Then we're just doing reverse. That one goes back on. And that plays. This one, I don't know if you can see up here. Let me try to aim you up a little bit more. This one pries out. Has this little piece on the back. I mean, you can obviously tell. Now this is the part we're using the clamp for. You could also use something like a channel lock or anything else you need. You just need something opens big enough. You want to just make sure you get on this ring. I might have to try to place it down more. And then on the back, and just make sure you're not on any lines or anything like that, or any wires if you have any. And just start clamping. New pad in. Two hands to push it on. And then just reverse it. Then we're going to put this back on. Should slide on. Just got to make sure your bolts in the back are going to line up, and then just bolt them back in. Two little caps. Then the bracket. Brake pads are back in. You want to put your wheels back on, torque them to spec, and then follow the manufacturer's recommendation for bedding your pads in. If you're not too sure, back on the passenger side here, if you're not too sure which style brake you have, usually you could find like the line down there, that's your e-brake cable going into the back of this. So that's how we know we have a drum style. Also, when you take your caliper off, that spot we compressed with the clamp, it'll have a different, it'll look different. It's usually like a T, and you have to put pressure on that and turn it at the same time to recompress it. So it's a little more annoying to do the regular e-brake on the caliper style, but it's doable. You could figure it out with tools that you have at home, but they do make a specialty tool to make your life easier. You could also use the same procedures for most front calipers also, so always keep that in mind. It's not as hard as you would think it is. As long as you got a couple standard tools, you'll be able to do the job yourself instead of paying a shop to do it. Another tip, if you do the front calipers especially, just make sure you pump the brakes a couple times before you drive off, because remember, you compress the calipers, you just got to make sure they're back and have the slightest bit of pressure, or else you might not stop. That's why we have e-brake. So I want to thank you guys for joining me on this quick video on how to change brake pads. Like I said, the procedure's kind of the same on a lot of cars, so follow those directions, be able to do it yourself and save yourself some money. Those pads were $31, by the way. I spent $31 and maybe an hour total, and that was including filming this video, to change the brake pad. So if you got some time on the weekend, simple job to do. Thanks for joining me. I will see you guys in the next one. Subscribe for more content. We got other car stuff going on. Hit that subscribe button and peace out.